Hello, Facebook friends. Sometimes just because we are human and when we are in close relationship with someone, we can get in the midst of intense reactions. So I'd like to share with you a technique to help you to get beyond the messiness and out of the intensity and into a way for understanding and growth and just being able to make some sense and move out of the messy relationships and into your authentic life. I'm Judy Herman. I'm a counselor and also author of Beyond Messy Relationships, but please don't mistake this for a counseling session, but I've got to share with you. After years of counseling and hearing the stories of many clients, there is this technique that is so very powerful, and yet it's so profound and simple, and it's the most transformational that I have seen over the years. So stay tuned, because there's 3 things and you'll need something to write down. You see what happens, and it happens just often, not just in marital relationships, significant other, or romantic relationships. It happens with our child and other relationships. For example, well, let me wait for the example. I just want to share with you first of all, because what happens is that we get into reactive mode in our brains. This is the fight, flight, or freeze, and then things speed up. And then we end up saying things, doing things that are not smart. And we are like in this reptile mode. So how to slow that down? First of all, I want to share with you, write this down if you have something to write with, unless you're driving or something. But write this down. Awareness. Okay, this is the meaning behind the strategy. We have a strategy, but we have this formula, awareness, and circle the letter A in awareness. So when we become more aware, we can raise our level of awareness. So many things are going subconsciously on in our minds, and to slow that down, we need to become aware, and it takes deep breaths of air. Because when we're in reptile mode, it gets us out of tune with reality. So how many times? I see it over and over, not just with clients in my personal life, but just in life in general. It's part of being human. Okay, you may have a wonderful relationship, and that's great, but there's times in which conversations can go sideways. And how many times have you responded or reacted to something that you didn't quite hear all the way? It happens with text messages, doesn't it? But anyway, raising our level of awareness, which brings me then to the next point, is intentionality. Okay, write the word intentions or intentionality and circle the letter I in intentions. So what I mean by this is, yes, we need to slow down, and we need to take deep breaths and be intentional of having this attitude of curiosity. I've got to share with you. So a lot of you know I have little grandchildren. So one of them, little kids, they don't have their emotions already figured out and know how to manage them. And you may even be married to someone who doesn't have their emotions figured out and you're married to them. But here's what's going to happen, or will help if you're intentional about this, and if there's this level of trust, you draw near to that loved one. And like what I did with my little granddaughter. Now I could, some parents are just so exasperated and they just scold, and, they don't even understand that their little ones don't have the ability. But if you draw them near, and it really worked beautifully, because I was there with her, and I just drew her to myself so she could feel my breath in and out, and we both started breathing. I'm telling you, in a matter of seconds, it slowed things down for her, and she was able to manage her emotions. So we need to be intentional about drawing near and being able to realize the human body does all kinds of things, but that's why close relationships are so beautiful, because it's the skin to skin, eye to eye, face to face contact that can help the softness, and it can help slow things down and get you out of reptile mode. Now the third thing, real quick, is risk. So write the word risk, R-I-S-K, and circle the letter R. And risk is like risks of growth. Yes, it may be a risk of growth when you would normally want to stay in your reactive mode and you're drawing near to your loved one and offering them a hug so that they can self-soothe and you can soothe each other. That's a beautiful thing. And there might be other risks of growth, stretching into some ways of being and ways of thinking that you haven't thought of before. Your risk of growth might be calling a counselor. It might be reading a book like mine, Beyond Messy Relationships, in which you're reading the intense stories of another therapist, but also getting therapy at the beginning of each of the chapters. Of course, it's not a substitute for it, but that might be your risk of growth wherever you are in your life right now. So let's back up, because based upon awareness, based upon intentionality, you will have some wisdom to take those steps of growth. But what does this spell? Remember the letters you circled, A-I-R. It's taking a deep breath of fresh air. And I'm telling you, that is one technique that will slow down the nervous system like no other. But you have to practice it. You don't want to be practicing it for the first time when you're in the midst of this mode. Practice it morning and night and get grounded in reality. All right, there is more in my book, Beyond Messy Relationships, where you can get that in all formats wherever books are sold, or you can go to my website, judycounselor.com. There's also a free relationship stress quiz. And I want to stay connected with you. If this information resonates with you, please like and share and comment. I would absolutely love that. And I'm showing up every day, Monday through Friday at noontime Eastern time. So join me tomorrow as well. But remember this technique, breathing in fresh air, A-I-R. Get grounded in reality, get out of reactive mode. Hug your loved one close to you and breathe deeply. And that's a beautiful gift you can give yourself and your loved one. All right, bye-bye.